Welcome to the night's breakdown. Arsenal 3, Fulham 0. What a victory, what a performance. I know I said in my pre-match video about how it would be an added pleasure to have a result that marries the kind of performance that we've been waiting for to give us the confidence to go into this last set of fixtures. But we were able to do it. We were actually able to do it. What a game. I'm sure Arsenal fans all over the world, we've been waiting for the boys, the players to give us that added pizzazz, that champagne football that we've been used to from the beginning of the season. And it's no coincidence that this has come at a time when most of these players are returning. I'm talking about Saka, I'm talking about Eze, I'm talking about Calafiori. Everything has just come together to make for an awesome performance yesterday. I've had to defend Saka. I've had to defend the manager as well, talking about how it's obvious that most of these players that have been missing form a solid technical base for how we aim to play in a beautiful manner. I'm talking about the absences of Calafiori, Eze, Saka, having these players back. We could easily have been 5-0 up in the first half. Calafiori's goal that was actually rightly disallowed for offside. Gyökeres could have finished, even Saka from the rebound from the keeper save. It was just an awesome game and it was wonderful to watch. We were on it from the get-go. The boys came to the party. Everybody looked hungry. The pressing was top-notch. Most of that game was played in Fulham's half. I'm talking about 60 to 70% domination in that first half. Saka was awesome. Look at his dribble for the first goal. Sorry to Raul Jimenez, but I mean, that dribble sat that guy on the floor, and being able to pick out Gyökeres not wrestling or tussling with his marker, he was able to free himself and he slotted in. And this is the performance that I've been waiting for. It will give us that psychological boost, that mental reset. I talked about it in my past match previews. I've been waiting for this performance for so long. That performance that will just give us that added pep to just go through the season. And even before we went 1-0 up, they've been warning signs from Trossard. And this is like his best game in 2026. He completed like 6 take-ons, and I found out eventually at the end of the game that that's the highest number of take-ons in a half of football in Premier League history. He showed early warning signs. He was buzzing. He had a few pops here and there, even before we went 1-0 ahead. And let's not even forget Miles Lewis Skelly. This was a performance in midfield that had been coming. I remember the FA Cup game against Wigan. He was supposed to play in midfield, but then Calafiori got injured and he had to fill in at left back. The game against Southampton, he was suspended. This game has this performance in midfield has been coming. He had a few minutes against Newcastle. I know some Arsenal fans would be like, "Oh, they've been crying for MLS to play in midfield, this, that, that." But it was obvious that this was a steady progression into him leaving the left fullback role and then slotting into midfield. And he has shown that he can be a bona fide rotation option for the Arsenal. He was just exceptional. The amount of central progression, his ability to just shield off his marker, his press retention, his ability to just shrug off markers, vertical passing, driving with the ball. You just can't nick the ball off him. It's little wonder that they call him the young Musa Dembele. Eze as well, he came to the party, even though he lost possession several times. But that's the difference between Eze and Odegaard. Odegaard will give you control and less vertical progression, safer passing. But with Eze, you just have to take the width with the chaff. Do you understand? For all his attempts to try and progress the ball, there will obviously be attempts or there will obviously be attacking sequences where he's going to lose the ball. Look at how he played that early pass for the second goal to Gyökeres. Gyökeres, there's so many talking points in this game. Gyökeres, his link-on play was awesome in this game. He was not being fixed. He was moving. Even in central areas when the passing was being moved towards him, he would flick it on, then move. He was on the move continuously, and that's what we love to see. That's what I love to see. He's showing a steady improvement in his game. And for all of his ball striking and all of his ability to finish, this is the Premier League. You need to be able to have this skill set in your armory, in your arsenal. So yeah, he was able to, hold the ball up. And Saka, I could see the fullback, Anthony Robinson, checking over his shoulder to see if Saka would make the run. Saka waited and waited until the right time. A very smart run. Gyökeres found him and Saka finished with a plumb, a left-footed finish into the bottom corner, and we're 2-0 up. And then for the third goal, Trossard, who has always had a great on-pitch relationship with Gyökeres, it's other players in the attack that have had to develop um, on-pitch symbiotic relations with Gyökeres. Trossard on the left, a left-footed cross, he just stood it up. Gyökeres, shifted a bit from the defender, and then for his first, I think his first headed goal of the season. So he went 3-0 up in the first half. Awesome, that enabled us to be able to take Saka off. And Ateta said after the match that that was a plan, so it's a steady progression in his minutes. And if you check all the teams in the Premier League, PSG played with the rotated team in France, Bayern Munich played with the rotated team in Germany, Atletico, our opponents come Tuesday, they've rested all their first 11. So being able to take players off and being able to just manage the game in the second half because of a 3-goal cushion was valuable. And Saka, that was such a comeback performance, and it showed in his celebration. He was just like, the talk has been too much. Comparing him to this, comparing him to that, it's like, I'm back now. I'm back to show who I am. And that's what he did. Was awesome with a goal and an assist, and Gyökeres as well with 2 goals and an assist. It was just an all-round efficient performance, like I asked for in my pre-match review, like I wanted from our attack. So it was really awesome to see. The second half, Saka was off, Madueke came on. It was more of a controlled game. There wasn't really much going on, but I remember Gyökeres had a chance to get his hat trick. It was a pass from Trossard. I don't know why he had to turn his body to try and shoot with his right when he could have maybe dinked over the goalkeeper. I know easier said than done because I'm a commentator, I'm a viewer, but he had a chance to complete the hat trick, but it wasn't to be. I know that there will be numerous chances, and his goals are going to come in clutch for us as we try and wrap up the season with 1 or 2 trophies. So after the match, the second half, there wasn't really much going on. Jesus came on, Martinelli came on, Max Dalman came on, and that boy is going to be such a thorn in the flesh of Premier League defenders. I remember a Maisie central run he made, dinking the ball to his left. You could have said that he could have passed, but he's well within his rights to take a chance that he created by himself. So all in all, it was a great game. The fans gave the players a rousing halftime applause as they came off the pitch. The Emirates was noisy, and it just bodes well for what Tuesday has to bring for us. Our chance to make our first final in 2021 years. So yeah, come on, you Gunners.